Welcome to the Driving Force Mastermind podcast, where we connect you with inspiring entrepreneurs and deconstruct the mindset, the habits, the tools that they use to build great businesses so that you can too.
Hey, Driving Force members, welcome back to part 2 of our special episode with Jon Anderson. In this episode, Jon's going to share with us, 1, the Thomas Edison method of overcoming entrepreneurial stubbornness, 2, how to have clients hearing angels when you give them a proposal for your services, and 3, how to overcome stop-and-go style marketing that plagues business owners that try to do too much on their own. So now let's get into it.
Yeah, so we're building the portfolio website for the first time ever. And we're putting that up so people can see, because we have good work. We just have to get, the pain is you got to get pictures and you got to get it all together and you got to ask clients for their pictures. And so we're doing it. We're getting it all together. And that makes the getting the media much easier, because now they get to see eye candy. And listen, so I'm going to lure them in just like every other architect does. I'm going to lure them in with freaking eye candy, and then I'm going to close them with what we do for them. I just had a guy. This is funny. Just yesterday, we signed a contract to do work, and I sent him a proposal and told him all the great things I'm going to do for him. And he calls me up and he says, and we didn't have a chance to meet in person. So this is a very, really, really, really rare deal. But we did it long distance, and he's from a really small town. So I thought there's very little chance I'm going to get the work anyways. So I gave him my full-out proposal though, and he called me up on the phone and he said, Jon. And Walter and Sam, I think you guys seen that proposal I put together. It's a long form sales letter in a way. It's case studies and all this stuff of what I'm going to do for them. And he said, I was reading it last night and I was hearing angels, and I said, I know. Do you see all the good things I'm going to do for you? I'm going to make this a success. Now here's the deal though. It's I can control how much you spend relative to other stuff. I can't control your price exactly, but I can control all the other variables, in relation to your price. And that's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to make it so that your buildings will lease up and they will stay leased longer than otherwise, under other circumstances. And then he sent me the plans by another architect that drew for him. And I'm like, because remember when we had Marcus, my little hot seat with Marcus, Ramonis, and I was trying to cut to the quick, and he said, what sets you apart? Well, I know what I'm doing, and compared to the other architects, and he's like, wrong answer. You don't talk bad about the other guys. So I'm looking at this other guy's stuff, and I just said, I'm not going to say anything bad about it, but I'm setting up a plan that when people walk in it, they feel at home. And this is the problem. This is a tough thing to do when you're doing the type of project that you're doing, is to get that feel. But we're going to achieve that. And, I guarantee it, so it doesn't really matter. There's no loss, right, by him except for time, which is, when you're talking about a $15 million project, that's his biggest project this guy's ever been involved in. That's a lot of money for him. And losing a month in that time frame can be really detrimental. But, anyway, so I put the proposal to him, and he's like all in. And it was kind of interesting because, we have, just before that meeting, we retuned our website. We started doing the portfolio website. And there's one little thing that resonated with him. In that portfolio, I have one little category called specs. And because I think of it differently than what other architects do. You'll never see on any architect's website the category of specs for portfolio. And that resonated with him. He's got, this guy happens to have like 500 lots scattered throughout these small municipalities. And so it's a whole nother adjunct of work just by looking at the portfolio website that we started to set up. And what's funny about it, we don't even have anything loaded in the specs category yet. It was just a category we created on it, and we have a few of the pictures up right now.
Right.
But, you know, it opened his eye up. And so we're going really, really, you know, we're doing what we like to do with our work is that is what we do for our builders. On the front of all our drawings, we have a pretty, I call it a pretty picture. And we do a rendering, put that in the front of our set of construction documents. And it's like, you know, when I told my guys in the office that we're going to a portfolio website, you know, one guy looks at me and says, "You're doing to your website what you do to your drawings." And it's sometimes it takes a long time to come back to center where you're supposed to be. You know, you go down these divergent paths, find out what doesn't work. But if you're smart and resilient, you make the course correction. You know, so we're in that course correction phase right now, right? So we're just putting that together. We're going to bring on. I'm getting all the parts and pieces set up for the system because I'm a systems freak, and so the person can sit down and just bang out marketing and go do it because that's so cheap. You know, it costs I mean, as far as I'm concerned, nothing. And you know, my margins, the way we got our system set up, are really great. So why don't we just bang out as much of that as we can, and that affords us to bring in, you know, start ramping up people and testing people, and take people that are off center from what we're looking for, but see if they can fit, you know, within our system and grow. And so I'm pretty flexible in how I think. You know, it sounds like I'm always looking for that perfect person. I'm really not. I'm looking for people who have the right attitude, who can work as a team together. And crank stuff out. I just, you know, at this point, we're so darn efficient. I just need to stoke the fire.
Are you think you're ready to make those hires, or are you well on your way to making those hires?
I'm really. Here's where I'm at. I'm making a hire for the marketing, which will be the first time I've done that. You know, I mean, I've done that myself, and you know how that works when you do it yourself, right? You do it, you get busy, you stop. You do it, you get busy, you stop. And so it's a stop-and-go process. So we're just about there to bring that person on and to be doing marketing. And I don't know if that's a full-time position or if it's a part-time position. It really is kind of a full-time position, because not only would that person be doing the marketing, then that person would reach out and kind of keeping things going with current clients. And I'm pretty good about that already. But there's always that nice thing about just that extra follow-up that I get too busy to do, if that makes sense. You know, that we all get tied up in, and that way it would, you know, kind of automatically happen.
So, you know, you've been through this process with us for quite a while now, Jon. What would you say if someone came to you and were kind of in the same position that you are? You know, there's a lot of things going great in their business. There's a lot of things that they know they want to improve, and they're not sure what direction to take. But they would be on the fence about, you know, taking that action. What would you say to someone that's kind of on the fence about taking that big action to improve their business?
You know, once again, we're all in our own head, right? So we're all stopping ourselves from taking that action and doing what we need to do. The tough thing is finding. It's more of believers, I want to say. You know, I have people that I talk to that they're just happy where they are. You know, so it sure seems that way. Does that make sense? It seems that they got their business rolling, and they're at the point. They're just doing their grind. They have their complaints, of course. But at the same time, you know, we all have our complaints about the things, you know, and they're all the same things. They're all the same. We all have, here's the funny thing, we all have the same problems, you know, and that's the beauty that I've seen with, you know, going to the mastermind, is that seeing other people that are, you know, in their problems and what to look out for, you know, and it kind of gives me a better self-examination. So, you know, in terms of seeing them and their issues and where they need to go with it, you know, I think we all can use it, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it from both sides. That hot seat, sitting on the hot seat, you're trying to take all that information in, and you do get a lot of input, but it's very tough to take it in at the pace you're getting it. But sitting in the crowd, sitting in the audience, and giving advice, and being able to listen a little less you know, you don't have those everyone directed right at you. You can learn a whole lot more sometimes just sitting in the audience and watching someone else get that insight. And the other side of that is that what you just talked about was, you know, it's sure easy to see it when you're not in the hot seat. It's sure easy to see it looking from the outside of what their issues are.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, it's so true. I mean, you know, you see their problems, and what's so ironic about it, it's crystal clear what their problems are. You know, it's like, oh, this is easy.
Right. You know, it's easy looking outside, looking in, sure, but on the inside looking out, way different.
You look real smart on the other side of the table. And that's it. But you also gain a lot of information from other industries, or something that you would be doing or are doing, like, oh my goodness, man, if I didn't even hear that or see that, I would have went down that path, and that could destroy you. I mean,
what you just said there is the beauty in it, because, you know, that's seen, and this is where the big mistake I think that falls in. I like the non-industry centric model of a mastermind, and non-regional, you know, where everybody's from a diverse area and diverse industries, because, man, can we take ideas that doctors are using and I can implement it, that lawyers are using, that other business people are using, you know, and you start to see the things that they have. It's like, I never thought of it in that light, you know, but that just might work for me, and it might not, but if it just might too at the same time.
Here's one little thing I want to talk about, Jon. One is that, and you're a big guy as far as, if I get one piece of information, that could be just a huge game changer, knowing that, you know, drinking out of a fire hose isn't going to happen, but if you get one piece of information. But I also want to circle back to your hot seat with Marcus Lemonis. I don't want to give away the big, confident, chest out, walk up to the podium, sat down on the dais and talked it out, and then the slumping of that, Mark, which you take it really well, but you're firing those answers strong and hard. And we appreciate Marcus of being there, of course, and you being able to get on there and listen to a guy like Marcus Lemonis. But it was entertaining on our end, so I'm going to call that out. I know you're a good sport about all that, but
it was like, you know, I just smacked my hand on my forehead and was like, oh, you know. But it's cool, and this is the thing. This is that tough love thing, and this is what's awesome about it all, right, is getting honest feedback. And what's funny is you have somebody like Marcus, and in fact, it doesn't even take a Marcus, right? He's just a big name. But he's become a big name because he has this clarity. But what you start to realize is we all have clarity in other people's business. You know, in other words, when they're sitting there saying the problems, oh, this is a lot easier, you know, this is easier to solve than my business. My business is so hard. I've got so much bigger problems. And they're not bigger problems. They're almost the same doggone problems in a different way. We just need the people to stand up there and say, no, I'm not buying it. You know, stop selling me that. You know, let's talk about the truth here.
Yeah, and it gets. We have a guy in there that went through that, 8 figures a year, and he great at giving advice. And everybody looked at him like, wow, this guy. He got on the hot seat, and everybody beat the hell out of him. And you realize that he's going through the same thing, maybe on a bigger scale, but going through the same things. And all that information he took and implemented.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, this is the thing, and this is the pressure to me, okay, and this is the other beautiful part. This is the real beautiful part, is that, man, I saw some guys who did some massive implementation, and I'm going to feel like an idiot if I don't have my stuff implemented by the time the next meeting happens, right? Because, I mean, what am I doing? Why am I there? You know, you know, I like to think I'm there for looks, but that doesn't go very far. So
you are handsome and powerful. We will say that. Great for radio.
I keep saying that, even though that trophy husband thing never worked out. You know, hey, I'm a trophy dad. So anyway, you know, but it is though. There's that. You know, you see people do stuff, and what's really cool though is you see people that do stuff and even fail at it. And so, you know, we even saw, you know, a couple, I don't even say fails, but like, okay, no, the collective said, no, you went too far on this, and turn around, go the other way. And that's also teaching me what? I've already done this myself, built this big, massive freaking, you think you're building, this big thing that's going to really work, and you're just, forget it. Do it organically. Build, test, go. And just go. And make sure you're rolling. And that's what I need most, right? Is somebody, almost that pressure just to perform. So, I've got my daughter barking at me. Have you done your stuff that you're supposed to do? And I'm like, Livy, I'm working on it. And she's like, well, that's not good enough.
Well, that's not good enough.
You're supposed to be here on this date. And I'm like, I'm really close. So, I know that there's she's pushing my toes to the fire. It's easy to blow your kid off, like your kid can blow, the parent off, right? In terms of what they're supposed to do. But, if I take it really for what it is, she's the most connected out of everything. And in terms of what I'm supposed to do, because she came to the meetings and she's been there. And I pulled her up on that hot seat. Why? For the experience of being in that hot seat. She didn't say anything, but, and when we got done, she said, well, you didn't tell him this and that. I'm like, whoa, where were you?
Where were you? You're right there with me. Why didn't you say it?
Yeah, exactly. And I want her to go through that, and not only not to have the fear going up there, but more so to get there and say when you're thinking something. Don't hold it back, because you get to my age, and if you're holding stuff back all the time, it's much harder to break through that barrier than it is if you're a kid, and once you break that barrier, you're done breaking. You broke through it. You're able to.
I don't mean to interrupt, but she's become such a powerful force in the last 2 years, right, Walter? I mean, you can honestly say you've seen a transformation, and she's going to build a company that's.
Of course.
She's going to be a brand, and we're going to look back like, God, remember then, and she's going to be a powerhouse, without a doubt. You're setting her up for success.
I want to see the video of when she got up and talked, because I'm telling you, as a dad, I was very impressed.
So were we. So was everybody in that room. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like, wow, And what was really funny is we were on the plane on the way there, and she said, what am I going to talk about? And I said, I don't know. And you'll laugh at this. So we're sitting in the plane, and I explained to her what she does, and I gave about maybe a 2-minute, almost just an abbreviated pitch of what she does. And she looks at it and she says, "That's better than I could say it." I'm saying, "Wait, I don't even know what you're doing, because I know what you're doing, but I don't know your business, but." That's how I see it from the outside." And she's like, and you could see a little light bulb go on with her.
But you saw her up there when she did her presentation. That was lights out.
Was absolutely blown away.
Yeah.
Because she really didn't know what she was, what was going to be fired at her, how it was going to go, what was going to happen. And you always fear you're going to vapor lock when you're sitting up there. And I thought she killed it. I mean,
she did kill it.
Kid her age and just in the infancy of what she's doing her startup, I was like, okay. Now you've got the same problem I do. Get your stuff done and go. Launch it.
It's the difference between having a successful startup or one that just kind of fizzles out and I'm going to go do something else cycle.
Right.
That's the difference.
Well, and here's the deal. Let's say it blows up. So what? You're young. What you learn from the blow up is going to make the success of the next one. It's about not quitting.
It's that Thomas Edison method you said. I mean, there's going to be mistakes made. You're going to learn another way not to do what you're trying to do, and that's part of the learning process as well.
Can you imagine that? Us driving around in cars today with candles, for lights, and not having a light bulb.
Right.
If it wasn't for him, nobody would have. That is facetious, but I mean, I mean, there's things that, thinking big and continuing to think, you're going to be able to get the solution is really cool, and there's a lot of power in it.
It's not her trying to find 1,000 ways to make a light bulb. It's just finding one way to make it right. One way.
Yeah. And And she's just got to find that path that resonates with her, right, that makes her authentic. And, if she can be authentic to what she's trying to do, then, people will have belief in what she's doing.
I think they do. Yeah, I think she's there. I think she's really close there. She knows she's got the confidence in herself, and she's going to project that no matter what she does. And so she's definitely there. She really is. Jon, thanks so much for sharing all this with us, man. This has been fantastic. I've written 2 pages full of notes. I love the Thomas Edison way of doing things. I'm going to steal that quote from you, just so you know. Oh, yeah. I'm going to take credit for it, even just so we're clear.
I found lots of ways not to do stuff right. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I love it. It's fantastic.
That's right. It's not 1,000 ways to try to make a light bulb. It's just one way to make that thing light once. So that's right. The learning curve. So love it.
Well, awesome.